Hey, what's up? Hello, and welcome to Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Zach Pocklib.
And I'm Elaine Wilson. Zach, I don't know how long you waited to use that reference.
17 months, 38 days.
Right, but when we signed our national letter of intent to sit at the anchor desk, I'm pretty sure there's a clause in there that says, limit the Fetty Wap references. So
I don't know if I can sign off on that.
All right, well, signing day was just this week, so what do you think of the new class for ASU?
N'Keal Harry, Chase Lucas, I like that they hashtag stayed true, but five-star name on their recruiting class, Robbie Robinson, I like him a lot. Then again, they don't play for like 6 months.
Yes, but there is a team that is playing right now, and that's ASU women's basketball. They have been on an absolute tear as of late, but as the 2014 ASU football team would tell you, streaks go to die in Corvallis. The Sun Devils experienced their first loss in 15 games to the Oregon State Beavers Monday night, and now share the top spot in the Pac-12. Is there a reason for concern when a hot team turns ice cold? For that, we have women's basketball beat writer Bailey O'Carroll. Thanks for joining us, Bailey. Obviously, that game was probably tough for the Sun Devils, winning 15 in a row. Is there cause for concern after a loss like that one?
I don't think so. The Sun Devils came out hot. Sophie Bruner started out 5 for 5 from the field. They started to slow things down as the first half came to an end, and then went into halftime only down by 2 points, and then they kind of lost control in the second half. They failed to kind of control Oregon State's three-headed monster, if you will, with Jamie, Ruth, and Sydney, excuse me. And they allowed them to shoot 73% from the field combined, and they also had ASU's worst offensive performance of the season. Having said that, I don't think they could have gotten it done.
Now, one of those offensive keys that we've talked about before quite a bit is Katie Hempen, and she's been a staple to this program for a really long time. She's a monster beyond the arc, but she's kind of gone cold as of late. So what kind of concerns, if any, are with Katie Hempen?
Yeah, she went 0 of 9 from the field against Oregon State. She was scoreless. That was obviously a big reason kind of why they lost also. But, I think she's had a changing role on this team this season. She went from more of a shoot-first guard last season to a pass-first guard this season. Again, I don't think that there's any reason to have concern over her. She's experienced, and she's going to keep shooting and get out of that slump.
Now this weekend, they're going to face UCLA tonight. They're going to face USC on Sunday. Obviously, that loss has got to hurt their ego a little bit when you go on a run like that. So how do they bounce back this weekend?
I think that they'll be fine this weekend. Again, they're coming off that road trip at Oregon, going to be back home this weekend. They have UCLA tonight, like you said, and USC on Sunday. I think that they're going to return to that 15-win game streak that we saw that team last week, and I don't think there's any room for concern.
All right, thank you so much, Bailey. You can check out her work on CronkiteSports.com, and be sure to join Cronkite Sports on Pac-12 Digital Sunday as the Sun Devils host USC at 2. You can find that game at pac-12.com.
As always, great work from Ryan Curry, but I will say his one flaw is his Twitter game, only 68 followers.
Zach, you may have over 800 followers, but you still get flack for your social media game.
True.
So we have to bring in the experts. Social media guru Gavin Shaw has swam through the depths of Twitter to bring us the tweets of the week.
Guys, I appreciate the glowing intro. One thing I'm not so happy about, though, is recruits committing before signing day. Being committed in college football essentially means you're taking 4 more visits, talking to 20 more coaches, and exchanging between 500 and 600 more text messages. Luckily for Arizona State, that wasn't a problem this past week. The Sun Devils signed all 18 of the players already committed to their team. Now we're going to do what we do best, talk about the stars of that class on social media. First, Jalen Strong hitting up N'Keal Harry. He's making a comparison between the two guys. I don't see it. Jalen Strong never had a top 10 play in a sport other than football.
I just want to know if Jalen Strong is going to let N'Keal Harry take his title of Snap God. That's all I care about.
Yeah, obviously N'Keal smashing that backboard on SportsCenter Top 10, that might overshadow some of Jalen Strong. But I mean, Jail Mary, that's kind of a big deal.
Of course. All right, now on to something that may or may not be a cult, the new Devil Order. You guys both cover the football team on a daily basis. What is this, and should I be concerned?
So I guess this is some rebranding for ASU football. After last year, they came out and said that they were going to be, hot stuff, and then it didn't happen. So New Devil's Order is a new team.
I'm going to wonder if this hashtag is going to clash with Demario Richard and Armand Perry. They use hashtag CBA to stand for Code Black Athletics. I don't know if they're going to mix those, merge those. Who knows?
I think, Elaine, you hit it on the mark. As long as they switch it up from last year, I think it's for the better. Now let's hit up that final tweet. On to the swimming world, Michael Phelps, showing off that beautiful bod at the ASU basketball game, distracting some Oregon State free throw shooters. Guys, quick question. If he could play a sport other than swimming at Arizona State, what would you want him to do?
Water polo?
No, that's cheating.
Does that not count?
That's too close.
That seems
I
like
want
the
him
obvious.
to try to block a field goal then for the football team.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think basketball, he's got some height. I didn't realize how tall he was. I guess that helps him in the pool a little bit.
Guys, I'm just thankful I don't have Michael Phelps' body distracting me right now. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. The ASU lacrosse team is historically, well, great. The Sun Devils have made the Final Four in the MCLA 6 out of the past 8 years. Last year wasn't one of those. That led to some changes not only with the team, but with the coaching staff. And as Troy Lynch reports, the new head coach is truly a dual threat.
Back is Miller at the track, at the wall. It's a walk-off grand slam for Bethany Kemp. The Sun Devils win 8-4 over the number 4 ranked Oklahoma Sooners.
Well, that says it right there. ASU softball, usually a dominant force, but in for some changes this season. To break it down, what's to come, we bring in softball beat writer Drew Andre. Drew, a lot of seniors leaving this team and a big part of the batting order. What do you expect from the offense this season?
Well, it's a totally different team. They're losing 5 seniors, and not just role players. These are quality players. If we look at the heart of the order specifically with Amber Freeman, Haley Steele, and Bethany Kemp, these 3 players combined had more than half of the team's home runs last season. So they're not going to be able to replace that power necessarily, but they're just going to have to do other things. They're going to have to play small ball, get base hits, and steal bases when they get on, and basically just play smart softball.
Now, coming into last year, there were some concerns about the pitching staff because it was 2 freshmen coming in, Brianna Maha and Dale Rindak. Didn't really know what to expect from them, but now they're battle tested. How do you expect pitching to go during this season?
Well, last season they were basically just thrown into the fire, and they did a pretty decent job. If we look at the numbers, they're not eye-popping necessarily, but they had a full year of experience, and now they're going to be a lot more confident coming into this season. And another reason to be confident, they'll be adding one more pitcher and someone who has a lot of experience in Kelsey Kessler. She's a junior transfer from Kansas. She posted a 2.47 ERA in 2014 with the team and had 250 strikeouts.
Yeah.
It's impressive. So
Yeah.
she has ace-like numbers, and yes, she hasn't played for a while, but if she could get back into the swing of things with that, it could be a pretty deadly pitching staff.
Now, something that we really didn't expect in this offseason, Craig Nicholson leaving as the head coach due to some medical and personal reasons, and now they've got a bunch of different players coming in to help coach this staff. What do you expect from the coaching staff?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a little odd. They're going to have co-coaches, which we don't see that often in sports, and we don't really see it be that successful. It'll be Letty Olivares and Robert Wagner. Now, because they've split up their roles, Letty Olivares will be just in control of the pitching staff, and Robert Wagner will deal with the hitters and then the fielding. So basically all of the offensive side. So because of that, I don't think they're going to butt heads like most, you would say, co-coaches would end up happening. I say at some point, though, one of them will kind of take over as the real head coach. I would assume it would be Robert Wagner. He's been with the team longer, and it could work out. But for now, I think it should be fine.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how that works out coming next Thursday. That's when softball starts up, and it's the Kajikawa Classic. Check it out on Pac-12 Digital Stream. Well,
Hey.
we've talked about sports. But
Lots of
what's
sports.
the best? Yes, but what's the best part of a sports show? It's obviously predictions.
I love predictions. I'm really good at predictions.
Okay, so 6 questions, 3 each, 15 seconds, and we give you our take.
Ladies get to answer first. ASU, Oregon State. Oregon State ended ASU's winning streak in Corvallis. What did that mean, what did that game mean more for? Who did it mean more for?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I had my
think
words twisted up.
I know. I think it's more on Oregon State. They are obviously a power program. When they came into that game, they were ranked 8 and 9.
Yeah.
So obviously tough, but I think women's basketball, the ASU team, they're going to be able to come back from this. Now, let's switch it over to men's.
Something I'm a little bit more well-versed in.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they're going to make the NCAA tournament, but can they make any tournament at all?
I think they will make the NIT if they play better in the Pac-12, the rest of their Pac-12 schedule, and have a good showing in the Pac-12 tournament. Now, ASU hockey, is that season a success or a failure?
Success because they made it to Division I. Obviously,
fair.
that's a big accomplishment. They should be proud of that. Failure because they probably should have won more than 5 games, and if you're going to make a name for yourself in Division I, get a few more under your belt.
Makes sense.
Now, things are going to start heating up at the Diamond.
Yeah.
We've got softball, we've got baseball. Who's going to have the better season?
I got to go with Tracy Smith, one of the best Twitter accounts in ASU, like on all the athletics department,
Yeah.
and Colby Woodmansey. That lineup is going to rake. I mean, they won't have the same
Absolutely.
pitching, but they can swing the bat. Now, curtain of distraction, we had Michael Phelps there. Who's your dream guest?
Let's keep it within ASU athletics. I think James Harden would be great in that curtain. He could, I think, be very distracting.
Yeah.
Fear the beard, you know,
Okay,
all
I
that.
can see that. I can
yeah,
see that.
I think that's the good pick. Now, I don't know if you've heard, there's a big football game this weekend.
That's right.
A really big one. Carolina Panthers, Denver Broncos. Who you got? Oh. Okay. I
all I'm gonna say.
think I've got the Sheriff on this one.
Okay, that's fair.
But let's see who they have for winning the way it is.
Who got it?
Anyone? I'm like nervous.
I don't know.
What's happening?
Oh, I knew that was going to come.
Oh, okay.
And that's our top play.
And I think the top play is us anchoring the show. This is the first time we've done this.
It was a lot of fun.
I think we did it.
Yeah, we covered a lot of sports, we covered a lot of games, talked about a lot of things, but that's all we had for today.
That's all we have for today. So make sure you follow ASU Sports throughout the week on CronkiteSports.com and check us out next Friday here on Cronkite Sports Live.
Thank you so much for joining us.